Hello, 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 hello. She is back. I know y'all been missing me, and I'm finna get back on my grind. I just want to say that I know we're in election season, and I'm going to say this. I know you all are still waiting on the rest of the proof for the sabotage of Frederick Collins, and that is coming. I'm going to do it in one swoop, and I'm going to post it all at one time. But I want to speak to the character of Brandon Johnson, who was the culprit, him and Miss Prepwinkle, in sabotaging Frederick Collins. See, God don't like ugly. You hear what I say? When you dig one ditch, you better dig two, because the trap you set for somebody else, you set that trap for you. Now, even though the two candidates that we have are not prime candidates, you really don't have no good choices to choose from as a selection for the mayor of Chicago. Paul Valens has not been good to the children of the CPS, even though he pats himself on the back as being this great person to be the leader of the city of Chicago. But his history, his background, his closet is not that clean. And these are some things we as registered voters need to pay attention to. Yes, Lori Lightfoot was not the best mayor, but at least you knew where she stands. She didn't sugarcoat nothing. She was truly her authentic self, and she showed that. What you are getting now is some culprits in disguise. Brandon Johnson. Everybody has been pushing Brandon Johnson. And I'll say this again, as I've said this many times before. If you can't do a good job in the seat that you're sitting in, how in the hell are you going to do a fantastic job in another seat? And it came out in the rinse. It was sitting in the wash, and now it rinsed out. So Brandon Johnson, even though we know he didn't pay his debt, it is amazing that the leaders of this city, those who sit in positions of power, are the most guilty. They talk about everybody else, what they should do, how they tax them, how they raise the water bill, the tickets and all this stuff. They talk about all that stuff. And he ain't the only one that ain't paid their bills. Now, here is my problem with all of this. He's not supposed to be in the running. He should be clearly disqualified because he has violated the rules that has been set. Now, anybody else, any regular Joe Smo, would have been disqualified, like they sabotaged and disqualified Frederick Collins via the Chicago Board of Elections, right? So I'm glad you got your money's worth, Brandon and Prepwinkle. But here is the thing. Now you all have mud on your face. Now, for some, they say, well, you don't want Paul Valens. We want because he's a black man. Let's stop using color as an excuse to put somebody in the seat. You need to find somebody who's truly honest with the people that you're potentially going to serve. And clearly, Brandon Johnson was not honest. Now, there are a lot of people on my timeline that's really pushing Brandon Johnson. And I'll still say this. I wouldn't vote for him. Now, that's my personal opinion. You do what you want to do. He has shown you who he is. And we know that when people show you who they are, we need to believe them, right? A $3,357 water sewer bill. And his water was never terminated, but he still had this bill lingering. Who are you connected to that knew you had this bill and allow it to be? Now the Chicago Teachers Union, Prepwinkle came out in support of him, and they all knew this was lurking in the background. And it was even stated that Lori Lightfoot even mentioned it. He's not the person that you think he is, and he's shown himself to be so. They are liars, they are thieves, they are manipulators, and they are deceivers, right? $1,044 in unpaid, what is this? Unpaid bill, whatever it is. He didn't pay it, right? $6,661 in fines and penalties from parking tickets. And his license is not suspended? Who covered that up? See, it ain't just him. What we need to talk about is those who's tied to him that covered all this stuff up. That's what we don't pay attention to. So Toni Preckwinkle just recently came out in support of Brandon Johnson. She was laying low for a while, but you all still need to know. If Brandon Johnson becomes the next mayor of the city of Chicago, Toni Preckwinkle controls the Cook County, right? Then she will also have her hands, her knee, her ankles, and her toes in the city of Chicago. If them two can cover up this, if them two can be successful in sabotaging Frederick Collins, why would you want a liar, a manipulator, a deceiver as the mayor of Chicago? Please explain to me, because I don't see it. I don't care about the color of the skin. I don't. It is the person to whom you pretended to be. And what also got me was somebody not too long ago asked him about attending something. And, you know, when you get into the arena of running for mayor, you can't make everything. Well, how are you going to be an effective mayor if you can't make the little meetings that the little people are asking you to attend? And you don't have time for that because you're on the campaign trail running for mayor. You stepping on people who you need to get you in that seat. And as far as I'm concerned, and as far as what I'm telling you, he is not the person to be the mayor of the city of Chicago. And I'm not agreeing with Paul Valens neither, because he's not qualified to be the mayor of the city of Chicago. But the lesser of two evils, you make your choice. But if somebody like Brandon Johnson can pull this off on you before election day, and we're in early voting stage, and this is just now coming out, come on now. He's showing you who he is. He's showing you what he's going to do. He's showing you what he has done, and he's showing you what he's not willing to pay. Everybody else has to abide by the rules. My tickets got to that point. They suspended my license. Why wasn't his license suspended? Why? Why was why was this covered up? And who made sure that this information was covered up? Who made? Because somebody went through an extreme effort to make sure that this information was covered up. And somebody knew about it. And because whatever he did and whatever he said, however he said it, it aggravated somebody. And they started digging and they started sharing the dirt that was in the closet. I keep telling y'all, everybody got a closet. And when God get ready to pull the covers off of you, can't nobody stop it. And what happened to Brandon Johnson? Somebody pulled the covers off. And it wasn't one thing, it was three things. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're running for office, you have no room to talk about nobody else, because y'all dirt ain't no better than the next person, because all of y'all is dirty. That's it. Very dirty. That's all I'm saying. Think about it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Reality is where words do come to life. Y'all have a good one.